Catch up on the AR, how you did that? Track out, lift up when you take off, how you did that? You put switches up on your blinkies, how you did that? Your LV bed turned to a legend, how you did that? I seen that turn to a Louis.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Symone and welcome back to my channel. If y'all can see by the title, today is another story time. Today is day number 2 of week of story times, y'all. I feel like my lips is so dark. I was trying out this new like lip liner I got and it just didn't really come off. So I'm like, I gotta record my video, I don't care. But anyway, today is day number 2 of week of story times, y'all. I'm super excited just to see like how y'all gonna like this. So as y'all can see, it is 21 days until Halloween, y'all. Almost there with the countdown, y'all. I'm being super consistent. What is today's date? Oh, today's the 10th. So this is day number 10. I've been posting every day, y'all. Like, but before we get into the story, y'all already know what to do. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, give a girl a thumbs up, and comment down below. So y'all, let's take a wild guess if y'all can see who this story is about. This story is about y'all best friend, one of y'all best friends, because y'all got 2 best friends. I'm gonna tell y'all because I know who y'all like, and I be so like, what? Okay, so it's about one of y'all best friends. Let's see who guessed it. If you said toxic, you are right. This story is about toxic, y'all. So y'all first best friend, because a lot of people love crazy, and I'm gonna have to do another story time for y'all about crazy, but this story time is about toxic. So let's get into it. This story takes place, of course, because y'all know me and her is not friends no more. We don't talk no more. So this story was when I was 17. This is like right after I graduated high school, right after the situation with like Joe and all that happened, when me and him was not talking. Me and her became cool again, because me and her was not cool for like a long ass time, and then we became friends again, and then eventually we stopped being friends. But yeah, this is about toxic. This is about the time when me and Joe was kind of like but we wasn't together at this time. So I'm gonna prop my knee up, y'all. Let me prop my knee up. Okay, so let me get into it. So one day toxic hit me, y'all. So one day, like when it came down to like, I don't know, like in the beginning of our friendship, you know, like because we grew up together, but like when it went towards the end, like when we stopped being cool and we started being cool again, for some reason toxic, she was like boy crazy, like so fucking boy crazy. It needs to be so fucking irritating, like not irritating, but like to a certain extent. Like it doesn't always have to be about niggas, but that's how it was with her. And she used to be weird. That's why it was okay. It didn't even have to be about that she wanted to be about niggas all the time. It's the fact that she was weird when we be around these niggas. So one day she ended up hitting me up and she was just like, hey, this boy I've been talking to, he want to kick it with me, and I really don't want to kick it with him by myself for the first time, if you don't mind coming, like da. Which was, I'm like, this nigga must be real crazy or something, because she always kicked with people by herself. She's like, she started to where I would tell her about people and she wasn't really telling me about shit, and it would be like, okay, like I don't know, it just started getting weird. So but this one person, she was like, she wants to kick it with, so I'm like, cool, I'm down when they want to kick it. So she like, tonight. So I'm like, all right, I ain't had shit else to do, so I'm like, okay. So she ended up she tell him like, okay, I'm gonna bring my homegirl, whatever she told him. So she told me like, I'm gonna come to your house, could we have him pick, because at this time I didn't have a car. I didn't get my car until like 2 months after I turned 18, and I had bought me a car. But at this point I didn't have no car. I had just graduated like not too long ago. So she was like, this was in the summertime too, because y'all, me and her stopped being cool when I was probably like 18, about to be 19 years old. Like y'all see why. But anyway, so I didn't have no car, she didn't have no car, so she's like, I'm coming to your house because my mom be tripping or whatever, so can I have him pick us up from your house? So I'm like, cool, whatever, I'm not tripping. So when she got to my house, she telling me like, oh, I think you might know this boy. So I'm like, I don't think so, like I don't think I know him. She's like, yeah, I think you might know him, like I think you know him, I'm gonna show you a picture of him. So she going through her phone or whatever to find a picture of this nigga. Y'all, not her saying she think I might know him when she knew I knew who this person was. She knew exactly I knew exactly who this boy was, because y'all, it's not that deep to me. I didn't even care, but it's just the way that she was making it, doing it, it just was giving off weird. So back in middle school, y'all, this is middle school, I don't give a fuck about this. I didn't never talk to this boy, nothing. I had a crush on him. I thought he was so cute. I used to hang out with his sister and I just thought he was cute. This boy probably didn't even know I existed. Like I'm pretty sure he didn't know I existed, like at all. So she knew I knew who this person was, because mind you, me and her was friends back then. I told her like, you know, she knew everybody I liked, I knew everybody she liked. She knew so she knew I never talked to him. She just knew I had a crush on him. So she showed me him and I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, I do know him. We're gonna give him a name. We're gonna name him Black. And only reason why we're naming him Black is because he had a black BMW, y'all. And I just can't think of nothing else to name him. So So I'm like, oh, I do know Black. Like, remember, I used to hang out with his sister. I didn't even say, remember, I had a crush on him, because it's not that deep. That's not me saying, oh, we used to hold hands in kindergarten. Like, it's never that serious. So I'm like, oh yeah, Black. Remember, I used to hang out with his sister. And she like, oh yeah, you did used to hang out with his sister. That's crazy. Like, I forgot all about that. She was like, I knew you must have knew him, because when he said it was school he went to, I'm like, we all went to that school. So I'm like, you probably know him. So I'm like, yeah, like, you know, whatever. So she like, okay, yeah, they're gonna pick us up. So it came later in the day. They were supposed to pick us up like way earlier, because mind you, he told us that he was gonna take us to the pier and we was gonna get something to eat. Like, it was all this stuff we were supposed to do, but he didn't come until like 10 o'clock, because he said he had stuff to do. I don't know what he had to do. I really didn't care, because that had nothing to do with me. So he's like, he's gonna come get us later. So he ended up coming to get us at like 9. Well, he didn't tell us until time was going by, and she was hitting him up like, when are you coming? And then that's when he was like, oh, I'm doing something, I'm gonna come get y'all still though. So he came like 10 o'clock. It was late. I don't remember exact time it was, but it was late. So he pulled up and he was by himself in the car. So we hop in the car, whatever. She hop in the front seat, I hop in the back. And I'm just like, hi, like, my name is Symone. He like, oh, what's up? I'm Black. And you know, she like, hey, she just like, hey, that's my best friend or whatever, like, you know. So he like, oh, okay, cool. So we drive in, we get to their house, and right when we get to their house, like, he was in the car. He was like, hold on real quick, y'all, I'm about to go run in the house real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all come in. He was telling me, like, on the way there, he was telling me like, yeah, I got homies at the house for you, don't even trip, there's a few different homies, so you could have options to pick from. And look, mind y'all, I didn't care if me and his homeboy clicked or not. Like, I'm just there to support my friend, because she didn't want to be by herself. So it's like, regardless if I met somebody or if I didn't, like, if I met somebody, cool, but if I didn't, you know, cool too. I'm not really even tripping. But he telling me, like, if I just got options, like, it's gonna be for the love of Symone up in there. So I'm just like, okay, like, you know, cool. So he like, yeah, you got options, a whole bunch of homies in there. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, and that's cool, you bring a cute homegirl with you too, because you know how some bitches be bringing ugly bitches with them. And I'm just thinking like, damn, why we gotta be bitches? Like, you know, like, the fuck? So she like, but mind y'all, even though I used to hang out with his sister, I don't know him like that. So I'm just sitting there thinking like, the fuck we gotta be bitches? And she just like, no, all my friends are cute. All my friends are cute. Y'all, I'm her only friend. But anyway, so she just saying that or whatever. He's like, yeah, so that's good you did bring one of your friends that look good. And I'm just thinking like, okay, we get the point. Like, you know, ain't gotta say too much. So anyway, we pulled up to his house, and when he got, like, he told us like, hold on, wait in the car, y'all, I'm about to go see something real quick, and then y'all could come inside the house. I'm gonna come back and get y'all. So he go in the house, and we in the car, we just talking. She was just like, girl, ain't he cute? Like, he got money too. I could tell he got money because of his car. Which is like, girl, just because a nigga have a car does not mean he have money. A lot of these niggas be having a car and nowhere to lay their head, a car and they running from the repo man, a car that ain't even theirs, a car with nothing else. Like, that's all they got is a car. That don't even mean nothing. Like, a lot of females be like, oh, he in a foreign, but that same nigga that's not in a foreign probably got a bucket or whatever, but he doing way better than him. So it's like, a car doesn't even fucking matter. But anyway, so we just talking or whatever in the car. So he ended up coming back out, y'all. Remember I said I used to hang out with his sister? Why when he was coming outside, his sister was coming outside too. She was like, let me out, like, let me out the car. She like, who you got in the car with you? And I don't know why, this is probably like weird to me, but I didn't want to speak. Like, mind y'all, I haven't seen her since like 9th grade. Like, we went to middle school together, but like in 9th grade, like, we end up all linking up again, like a whole bunch of us. And like, I haven't seen her. We got each other on social media, but like, we don't talk. And I don't know, like, I just didn't want, I don't know why I just didn't want to speak. I just didn't want to speak. I don't like people in my business, even though I'm not talking to her brother, but I don't know, I just didn't want to speak. I remember she used to tell me a lot of stories about like girls that be around her brother, and I just didn't want her to get that vibe from me. Like, I think that's more the reason why I didn't really speak to her. So anyway, he hopped in the car and he was like, oh, I'm finna let her out. So he moved his car to let her out the driveway, and he pulled back in and he's like, all right, y'all, we could go in the house now. So we end up going in the house. When we go in the house, it's dark as fuck in the living room. The lights is off, but I could see it's just the niggas. Like, I could see a whole bunch of niggas. Y'all know these big eyes could see, so I could see in the dark, but it's dark. I can't really see too many like the faces, but I could see it's like 4 guys in the living room. So we both sit on the couch next to each other, whatever, and he just like, oh, what's up, like, this is Toxic and it's her homegirl. What was your name again? I'm like, Symone. He's like, yeah, and that's her homegirl, Symone. And they was like, oh, okay, what's up? Like, everybody just gave a dry hi or whatever. So we sitting down, and next thing you know, this one boy comes inside of the living room, but he came from like the kitchen way. So he come in there, he just snacking, like he eating like some chips or something. I don't know what the fuck he was eating. We gonna name him Marvin. And the reason why we naming him Marvin, if you watch Raising Kanan, then you know Marvin and Uncle always be eating some shit, and this nigga was always eating some shit. So he's snacking on something. He come in there and he like, oh yeah, this is Toxic and that's her homegirl Symone. So he was like, Symone, and he go over to me, like, he walking over to the couch where we sitting at. He's shining his phone in our face, like, bright as fuck light. I can't really see him because he's shining his phone in my face. And he goes like, Simone, you really ain't gonna say nothing to me? So I'm looking and I'm just like, who is that? Like, I said, who is that? Because I can't see you. You got your light in my face. He'll say, you trying to play like you don't know me? I'm like, I can't see you. Got the light in my face. It's dark in here. So then he was like, he put the phone on him and he was like, and I'm like, oh, Marvin, what's up? Mind you, I went to high school with Marvin for a little while. I went to 3 different high schools. So I went to high school with Marvin at some point, y'all. But anyway, so I went to high school with Marvin. So I'm like, oh, what's up? Like, it's been a long time. I ain't seen him in years. So he just like, oh, yeah, like, what's good? Like, damn, that's crazy. He was like, man, and he said to the boy name on the couch, I'm not going to say his name because he's like, well, he passed away now, but he was like really, really popular in LA. And I just don't like to give off too much. Like, I'm not ever here to like expose anybody, so that's why I don't never say names. But yeah, so he said to the boy, he was like, you didn't tell me Symone was right here. And he was like, I didn't even notice that was the Symone he was talking about. He was like, I wasn't even paying him no attention because mind y'all, they was playing, like 2 people was playing the game, other people was just sitting there on their phones and stuff. So I'm like, oh, what's up? I didn't even notice you. Like, what's up? He like, oh, what's up? Like, so we just chatting like, how you been, stuff. So Black, I was gonna say his name. So Black, he like, oh, y'all know each other? That's crazy. I'm like, yeah, we went to school together. And he was like, wow, it's a small world. And I'm like, yeah, like we all went to school together and stuff like that. Like the other boy, I didn't go to school with him, but I went to school with his brother. And I just, like, we all just knew each other or whatever. And plus, like I said, I used to be around a lot, like back in Jergen days and stuff like that. So I just knew a lot of people. So anyway, he like, oh, like, it's a small world type shit. So I'm like, yeah. So we going back and forth about that. So he like, what school you went to? And I told him the school I went to. So he was like, wait, what middle school you went to? And I told him the middle school I went to because he asked me the high schools and I said the high schools. But I said the LA high schools because the other ones is not important because the other two, because I know y'all don't know people that go there. So, I mean, they're important, but in this situation, it wasn't because I knew they would not have been like, oh, so-and-so who went to this school. Like, So, I'm just like, oh, okay. So, he like, what middle school you went to? And I told him. And he was like, oh, shit. Like, I went there too. And I was like, oh, yeah. Like, yeah. That's all I said was, yeah. And then he was like, yeah. And then he was like, that's crazy. Like, it's a small world. He's like, I'm surprised I don't know you. Like, I'm surprised we don't know each other. So, Toxic gonna say, y'all do know each other. Symone do know you. So he was like, you know me? And I'm like, no, I don't know you. I'm thinking that she's finna bring up that I know his sister. Only reason why I didn't bring it up because I didn't want him to be like, you a fake bitch. You just seen my sister in the driveway and didn't even speak to her. But I just didn't. So I'm like, no, like I don't know him because I don't know him. I know his sister. I don't know him. So then Toxic was like, you do know him, Symone? I'm like, no, I don't know him. And she was like, she know you. She used to have a big crush on you in middle school. Bitch, this bitch, why would you say that? Ain't this your nigga now? I mean, it was never mine. Probably in my head. Like, I probably had a life living with this man in my head. But in reality, he ain't got nothing to do with me. So, she like, yeah, she's a big crush on you. So, it kind of got like an awkward silence. I'm like, no. I really like immediately was like, no. I used to hang out with your sister. So, he was like, oh, okay. Because it was like she didn't even say that. Even though she said it loud. Clear as day. Everybody heard it. But nobody said nothing about that but me saying, no, I used to hang out with your sister. So he like, oh, why you didn't say nothing to her? He was like, did you just see her right there? Like, you didn't see her in the driveway? That's why I let out. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even see her. Like, I'm lying. Like, I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice her. He was like, oh, yeah, like, dang, that's crazy. You really used to hang out. So he like, you ever been to this house? Like, you ever been here? And I was like, well, I came over here one time before, like, with everybody, but I'm like, that was like way before, which I have been to their house before. But like when I went to their house before, because it's not like they the 2 only kids, like they have other siblings that's older than them and shit like that, so everybody friends and shit would be at their house. So when I went over there, we went straight to her room. Like we wasn't kicking it with her brothers and his homies and shit like that. Like, so it was, it wasn't nothing that like that. So he like, oh, okay, like, all right, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I never seen you. I'm like, yeah, I only been once. So he like, you ever came to our parties? Like, we just talking about this. I'm like, nah, like, no. Clearly, if I just said I only came over here once and it wasn't a party, then I ain't been to none of your damn parties. But anyway, so he just saying that. So then next thing you know, Toxic was like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. I never been up over here. Nobody asked. Like, I don't know if she was feeling some type of way, because it was like now the conversation is really just all of us catching up on shit. Like, even though I don't know him like that, but we talking about shit like, oh, did you know blah blah blah? Did you ever know blah blah blah? Oh, whatever happened to that one nigga? Da 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 da. Because we all went to Henry Clay. So he like, what happened to this nigga? What happened to that? Like, you know what happened? You remember? Like, it was just that. So she now, I felt like, was feeling some type of way. So she just like kind of changed the subject or something. Like, she out of nowhere was just like, oh yeah, so when are we leaving? So he was like, oh, yeah, we gonna leave in a minute. I'm waiting on my homeboy, and then we gonna leave in a minute. So just chill, like, just chill. We gonna leave. So next thing you know, Marvin, me and him just talking or whatever. He ended up leaving back out. He coming back with some cookies, and he was like, because I remember, because he had some Oreos, and he was like, you want some of these? And I was like, nah, I don't want none. Like, you know, and he just eating them. And I'm just thinking, like, this nigga must be high as hell or hungry too, like I am, because we was told we was gonna go to eat, and I should have ate before. Never just put your trust in a nigga. Stupid hoe. How you figure he was gonna feed you? Like, I'm just kidding. But no. So we talking. Next thing you know, while we up in there for a good like 20 minutes, when we up in there for like a good 20 minutes, next thing you know, somebody start coming through the door, and it was his parents. It was his mom and dad. So the dad, everybody, I'm like, hi, because when people walk in the house, or if I walk into somebody's home, I'm gonna speak to everybody. I'm not about to just walk in somebody's house and just be rude as fuck. Like, who the fuck I think I am? So they walking through the door, and nobody else said nothing, but I'm like, hi. Like, it was just awkward. They like, hi. Like, and the dad went straight to the room. The mom came in there, and she was like, y'all need to get the fuck up out my living room, because I want to relax and I want to watch some TV. So y'all need to get the fuck up out of here. So they just like, oh, mom's like, oh, we was up in here, we playing again. She's like, I don't give a fuck. Y'all could go home. Go in one of them rooms. Like, y'all need to get the fuck up out of here, because it's my time. Like, y'all had it enough up in here. So they like, oh, like, you know, just going back and forth for it. So then Black, he was like, mom, I got guests here. Like, I got girls here. This is toxic. And this is, what's your name again? Like, nigga, it's Symone. Damn, we had a relationship in my head back in the day. You can't even remember my name, but I'm just kidding. So I'm like, Symone, and she was like, hi pretty girls, but y'all need to get the fuck out too, because I want to relax. So he like, all right, come on y'all. So we get up, and he was like, we start walking towards like where the rooms and stuff was at, and he opened up his sister door, and he was like, y'all could sit up in here for a cool minute, because I need to straighten up my room. He was like, but don't sit on her bed, because she don't like when people sit on her bed, so y'all could sit on the floor. And he was all like, and Symone, you know her right now. He know my name. So he like, Symone, you know my sister, right? So you good. She wouldn't mind you being in her room. So he puts us in his sister room, which I'm like, oh, if I had a big brother and he was putting bitches in my room, I would have been hot, because it's like, don't be putting people in my room. I don't care if they said they knew me or not. But anyway, we sitting on the floor and we chilling up in there. So she just like, girl, like, oh my god, like, we just talking and stuff like that. So I said something. I said, girl, why would you say I had a crush on him? Because I'm not finna let it ride. I'm like, why would you say that? And she was like, Symone, I was just being funny. I was just playing. Like, you know, it wasn't nothing like that. Bitch, I'm the funny friend, and I don't make jokes like that. You trying to be the funny friend ain't gonna work today, because what is you doing? Why would you, like, it wasn't you trying to be funny. You trying to embarrass me, because y'all, middle school me, I'll post a picture, but I was not cute in middle school. So would you try to make him remember and be like, oh yeah, you was that ugly girl that used to hang on my sister? No, bitch, what is your anyway. So I'm like, girl, don't do that. That shit is not cool. Like, don't do stuff like that. And she's like, oh, I just thought it was funny. I'm like, but what if I thought some shit was funny and said something about you? Like, then it wouldn't be so funny. So she's like, man, you tripping. It's not even like that. Nobody even laughed. I said, yeah, because it was weird. Like, you know, it was just weird. So I'm just trying to tell her. But after that, we just changed the subject, because I'm not trying to let the night be just me irritated, because, again, we got a ride here from him. So it's not like I could just leave if I wanted to. So anyway, we just in the room. We just chilling. We just talking or whatever, right? So the subject ended up changing, because it was like, who want to just keep arguing, you know? And it's like, yeah. So anyway, she ended up asking me, she was like, so how do you feel about Marvin? Oh yeah, and by the way, like, when we was in the living room before the parents came, like, when we was talking, Marvin, when he realized it was me, he told Black, oh, it's so hard. He told Black, like, oh, I'ma come because Symone the homegirl, which was cool with me. Like, so I'm like, okay, cool. Somebody that I already know. Like, we could just talk about a whole bunch of shit. Like, it's cool. So anyway, so we in a room. It's just me and Toxic. She's like, so how do you feel about Marvin? Like, how do you feel about Marvin? You think he cute? Mind y'all, so Marvin was not ugly at all. He was a real cute guy. Like, he looks really good. However, I just never looked at him in that type of way. Like, when I first started going to the school that I went to the school with him with, and I first seen him, he was cute at the school. Don't get me wrong. But he used to smell like pee, and we was too damn old for him to be smelling like that. So you know when it be that one little thing that turn you off of somebody. But mind y'all, he had bitches and shit. Like, he was cool, he was cute. They got past the pee smell. I, however, cannot get past the hot syrup smell. So I was just like, he not for me. But you know, I don't know. It's just like, I mean, when he was just talking to me, he didn't smell like pee. So you know, maybe he just didn't know. He didn't shake enough back then. Like, I really don't know. I don't know why he smelled like that. But y'all, it just, you know, certain things, it just be like, But he was cool. So he was the homie. So I'm like, cool, he could come. I'm not really tripping. So anyway, we end up going, like, we in a room, we just talking. She's like, how do you feel about Marvin? But mind y'all, I'm not about to tell Toxic that he used to smell like pee in high school, because bitch, you already done told the whole world that I already used to like black in middle school. So why am I gonna say that now? Like, you bringing up old shit, so I ain't even gonna say that. So I'm just like, oh, he's cool, like, you know, he cool, that's the homie, like, he's straight, like, we gonna have fun. So she's like, okay, but like, would you talk to him on that level? So I'm like, probably not, like, I don't know, like, I don't know. So she like, girl, you should, like, he's cute as fuck, like, we should talk to them, like, you should talk to them or whatever. And she was like, would you be down to spend the night with him? And I'm just like, no, like, bitch, why are you saying would I be down to spend the night with him? Like, no, I'm not. Mind y'all, like, I was so used to be, I don't know, like, I didn't even really want to get to know anybody at this time any fucking way. So no. So I'm just like, girl, no. But mind y'all, I should have kept in mind that she said that. It should have not slipped my mind, because then it would have made me realize why she said that, and y'all will see why she said that in a minute too. Well, not in a minute, but later in the story. So anyway, Black ended up coming back in here, and he was all like, Toxic, come here. Like, come with me to my room. So she get up and she go. I didn't go because he said Toxic. Come on, he didn't say me. He didn't say Toxic and what's your name again. He just said Toxic. So she go. I'm just still sitting in the room on the floor on my phone or whatever. So next thing you know, Marvin come in the room and he just talking to me. Like, we just talking and shit like that. So he like, so what was y'all finna do? So I'm like, oh, we supposed to, why am I even still saying this? Is like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh, we were supposed to go to the arcade, and we supposed to go out to eat or whatever, go get something to eat or whatever. So he was like, oh, that's cool. Hopefully we do get some food, because I'm hungry. Mind you, he in here now eating a sandwich that he done made. So he was like, you want something? Like, being funny. I'm just like, nah, I'm cool. I could wait. Like, till we go to wherever we going to. And he's like, okay, like, all right. But yeah, I'm hungry. So I'm just thinking, like, I could tell, because you eating everything in they fucking house. I know they hate when you come over. But anyway, I ain't say that, though. So we end up talking and stuff like that. So next thing you know, Black come in there. And he was like, Marvin. He's like, Symone, come on. Come in here, y'all. Come on. But mind you, me and Marvin have been in the room for like 10 minutes just talking. So he ended up coming. We go in his room or whatever. When we go in his room, he was like, yeah, y'all, so we finna leave in a minute. We just waiting on the one homeboy, because he riding in the direction that we're going, and he need to get dropped off. So Marvin like, bro, he is not coming here. Like, let's just go. Let's get some food. I'm hungry. Like, he is not coming. He already said it an hour ago he wasn't coming over here. So he like, for real? And he like, yeah. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, maybe he didn't really want to go do all that extra stuff. He wanted to just kick it at the house, which he could have said that we still would have came. Like, we still would have came to the crib. But y'all, I'm thinking that's probably why he was trying to stall, like fake stall, like he had to get somebody a ride. So Marvin like, bro, let's just go. Like, I'm hungry. Uber's gonna get some food from him. So he like, man, now everything closed, but I know this one pizza spot. Like, y'all like pizza? So we like, yeah, pizza is good. So he like, okay, I know this one spot. He's like, we could go there. So we like, all right, let's go. So then he started talking to me, and he like, so about like bringing up his sister again. So he like, oh yeah, my sister, I should tell her right now. I should call her right now and tell her like, yo, why yo, it's a small girl, he was like, well, I should call her right now and tell her like, it's a small world, your homegirl's here. So I was like, no, it's cool. Like, I'm gonna talk to her. Like, I'm gonna hit her. Me lying, I'm not even gonna hit her up. But y'all, I'm just like, I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna hit her up. Like, he's like, yeah, that's crazy. Like, it's really a small world. She should be back in like a little bit. You want to wait around for her? I'm like, nah, it's cool. I'm gonna talk to her. Like, I'm gonna hit her up. Like, that's my girl. You know, I ain't talked to this girl in years. So he like, okay. Like, so we just talking. Like, now he talking about other shit. Like, he talking about how they parties used to go up. Marvin like, yes, when they parties used to go up. Remember when I'd be at school telling y'all like my boy having a party? This the boy that used to be having a party, and I used to be like, oh, y'all gotta come. Like, yeah, that was the homeboy. Like, remember back in the day, Symone? Like, remember? And I'm just like, yeah, I remember them. So we just talking about that. Toxic ain't got nothing to talk about, mind you, because she don't know, like, these people aren't clicking. Like, she don't know them. Like, we have nothing to remember about with her. Well, yeah, they had nothing to remember about with her. So she's like, oh, something, like, she just said some weird shit. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was weird. Like, it really threw off the whole fucking mood. Like, it was weird as fuck. So where it was like awkward laugh, like, you know when people just awkwardly laugh? And it was me who awkwardly laughed, because I'm like, okay, she trying to be funny. Let me not make her feel bad because ain't nobody else laughing. So I was just like, like, you know, but it was, I forgot what the fuck she said. It had to have been something that she thought was funny, because I wouldn't have just laughed like that. Like, anyway, we just like, you know, it just got awkward, but the subject kind of changed. So then she was just like, oh, well, if you had a party right now, like, she just, after she said that weird shit, whatever she said, she was like, if you had a party right now, you want to know how I'll be dancing? So he like, how you would be dancing? Like now he getting into her and stuff, what she wanted. So he like, how you would be dancing? And she like this. So she just start dancing on him and shit like that. And I'm just sitting there, and then Black gonna say, Symone, show Marvin how you would be dancing. And I'm like, it ain't no party, cause I'm not about to just be dancing on this nigga. Like, what the fuck is going on? So then like they just doing their little thing or whatever. So next thing you know, me and Marvin talking about something else. So he asked me about one of my other friends. He like, oh, whatever happened to such and such. So I'm like, oh, I was just talking to her the other day. Like, we still cool. Like, I'm still cool with them. Da 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 da. Like, it was a few of us. It was like 3 of us. And I'm like, yeah, we still all 3 be talking. Like, we hang out from time to time. Like, they cool. So then next thing you know, Black knew one of the girls that I was talking about, and he was like, did you say blah blah blah? Like, he said her name, and I was like, yeah. I was gonna say she, and I was like, yeah, I said her. Like, you know, he was like, wait, and he started describing her, and I'm like, yeah. He was like, hold up, she used to be cool with my sister too. And I was like, yeah. He was like, man, that used to be my baby. That used to be my baby. Damn, I used to love her. What the fuck happened to her? I'm like, she good. Like, you know, she doing her thing, living her life. She good. He's like, oh, she's still with that nigga. Mind you, the person she was with, she got with him as like, well, I was gonna say adult. We like 17. I don't know how old the brother was. He probably was like 22 or some shit. I don't know. I know he was older than us though, but or like 20-ish. I don't know how old he was. I know he was older than us though. I know he wasn't like 17, 18 though. But yeah, so I'm like, mind you, so her person she was with, she like literally got with them not too long ago, and she be posting them on Instagram. So you know she's with this person. You clearly follow her and all this other shit. So I'm like, yeah, she's still with him. Like, they still good. They still together. They cute. Like, you know, I'm just saying that. So he like, dang, that's crazy. That was my baby. But I fucked up, though. I fucked up. I was young. I was dumb. I wanted to fuck bitches. I was doing this. I was doing that. But damn, that's crazy. Like, now he just reminiscing about her. He was like, fuck, that's crazy. Like, wait, so did you ever used to come over here when she used to come over here? I'm like, well, one time, like, that's when I said the one time I came over here. So he like, damn, yeah, that was my baby. Like, you knew about me? She told you about me? And I'm just like, you know, like, maybe. I'm like, she probably did, you know, like, fuck. He like, damn, I just really wonder how shit would have worked out. Like, I used to want her to have my baby. You know that? You know I wanted her to have my baby. Mind you, he don't even have kids. So I'm just like, oh, okay, okay. Like, I wonder like if something like that would still happen. Like, I should hit her up. I should hit her up. Like, fuck that nigga, huh? So Marvin like, fuck that nigga, fuck her nigga. And he like, I should hit her up. And I'm just sitting here like, the fuck? So Toxic is over there standing looking irritated to where she could not take it no more, because this nigga is just like talking about my other homegirl just like so much, like he just so in love with her still. So Toxic was just like, I fought that bitch before and I remember I beat her up. So he was like, never, you ain't never beat her up, because she used to have hands. She fought over here one time before because of me, over a bitch because of me. Like, she fought over here. He was like, Symone, you knew about that? I'm like, yeah, she told me. So even though I know he probably like, didn't you just say she did tell you about, listen, I don't know, maybe she did, maybe she didn't, but she did tell me she fought over here. I don't know if it was about you or not, so whatever. Anyway, so he like, yeah, so she was like, I beat her up. So he was like, you beat her up, she had hands, so you must got hands too. Like, if you could beat her up, because she got hands, like, she, at least I knew she had hands. She was like, no, she didn't beat me up. When I met her, we fought. Like, I beat her up. Like, she used to be cool, but I beat her up, right, Symone? And I'm just like, well, I wouldn't say all that. Like, you know, I'm just saying, because I'm not trying to be the one, but I'm not about to be fake. She's still my friend too. Like, you my friend, but she my friend too, but you're lying. Like, it was big capping, y'all. Like, mind you, okay, so Toxic was the friend that none of my friends like. Toxic is the reason why I started keeping friend groups separate. Like, I just thought, like, you know, maybe certain friends is for certain times. Like, you shouldn't mix all your friend groups together. And she was the reason why, because I used to mix her with all my different friend groups. And when I tell you, not one of them liked her, not nobody from another either. It was so many different friends I mixed her with, even friends we all grew up together with. Nobody liked her, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but nobody liked her. So okay, the friend that she's talking about, when we hung out, it was 3 of us, right? Well, including me, it was 4. So I bring her around my 3 other homegirls, right? This was a long time ago. When I swear it went from like, and this how it would be with everybody. It would be like, you like her, by the end of the day you don't. And I don't know why. Like, it would just, y'all. So it was like, they was getting along, everything was cool, we all having a good time. By the end of the day, they didn't like each other. Like, they did not like each other, and that was it. And we was like around some boys and stuff like that, and they was like, oh, like, y'all should fight. Like, and it was really just like a fake little 1-2 square up with each other, like fake little hit each other. Like, it was real quick. Like, probably each other probably only got like 2 hits in, and it was not even nothing serious. Like, you know, so I'm just thinking like, and it wasn't no win or lose. Like, it wasn't nothing. Like, so I'm just thinking like, what is she talking about? Like, but I'm just like, I wouldn't say all that. So she like, man, you know I be her, but that's still her friend, so she ain't gonna say nothing. That's still her friend though. But fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. She ain't here right now. This me. Like, I'm with you now. I'm her now. Like, I'm your girl now. And I'm just thinking like, this your first time hanging out with this nigga. You already talking about you his girl, but whatever. But anyway, I'm just sitting there like, so Marvin just dying laughing and eating on whatever the fuck he eating on at this point, because he was always eating some shit. So he just dying laughing, and I'm just sitting there like, so Black is just like, damn, okay, like that. She was like, yeah, because if that bitch was here right now, I would beat her up again. She know what's up with me. She know not to play with me. Like, she was really scared of me. She was scared of me. Like, Symone, she was scared of me, huh? And I'm just like, girl, not too much. Like, you're doing the most. Girl, you never been, like, y'all probably seen each other again, probably without me, like, probably just on some cross paths type shit, but you never beat this girl up. Like, it was never nothing like that. Y'all hung out one time, like, and she didn't like you. Like, girl, I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, girl. So she like, yeah, anyway, but we ain't finna talk about her though. Give me a kiss. She all in his face. So he give her a kiss. They over there kissing and shit like that. So this is Marvin. Bro, when are we leaving? I'm hungry as fuck. Like, let's go. Come on, bro. Where the keys at? I'm gonna go. So he like, all right, let's just leave, because that nigga ain't finna come. Like, he taking too long. He gonna just have to find a way somewhere else. Like, find a way another way. So Marvin like, he's not coming, bro. He said this a long time ago. He was not coming again. Because, you know, and I'm just thinking like, yes, Marvin, because I wasn't finna trying to be just sitting here on the bed watching them kiss. So I didn't have to be here for that. Like, you know, like, so anyway, we end up leaving. We hop in the car or whatever, and right when we hop in the car, when we pulling out, the sister was pulling back in. So he like, oh shit, you want to say hi to her? I was like, no, I'm gonna hit her, like, you know, it's cool. So he like, all right, whatever. So he ended up pulling out, and we driving. We in the car, we driving, and y'all, I don't know why, it's like that whole night he kept playing this song, and for the longest, this song used to make me think about this night. Y'all know that song, T-Pain song? I can't think of the name of the song, but it'd be like, now I know you didn't expect me to go low, and now you, from the top to the bottom, now that I got you, I'm a y'all know the, what's the song called? Put It Down. Okay, that's what it's called. So for the whole night, he played that song probably like 5 times, that song Put It Down by T-Pain. Anyway, so we driving, and mind you, he was like, yeah, y'all still want to go, because by the time, like, before we pulled off, got on the freeway, he asked us, like, so what y'all trying to do? So Toxic was like, we still going to the arcade and to get some food. He's like, oh yeah. So Marvin was like, let's get some food first. Like, we got to do that first before anything. And I'm thinking like, I don't know what arcade we finna go to, because at this point it's like midnight, like 11 midnight. It's late as fuck at this point. So he driving, he like, oh, I know this pizza spot that stay open, that's by the beach or whatever. So we go towards the beach or whatever, and then we park. So when we park, he was like, oh, I'm finna roll up real quick, because they wanted to smoke. So he like, y'all smoke? So Toxic like, yeah, we smoke. So before I could answer and say no, I don't smoke, Marvin was like, Symone, since when you start smoking? You never used to hop into sessions. Like, you smoke? Like, you smoke now? Let me find out you be smoking. Oh, I want to see this. Like, I want to see how you finna be acting. So I was like, nah, I don't smoke. So they like, why you don't smoke? I'm like, cause my first experience, I just had a bad experience my first 2 times. Like, first 2 times I must have hit the blunt too hard, damn near died. Everybody laughed at me. They all laughed at me. So y'all, I just didn't smoke. Like, I don't have nothing against people who smoke. Like, you could hotbox in the car right there with me. I'll get your contact high. Like, I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. But it's just not my thing. Like, if you say let's drink, back then, yeah, well, I still drink now. But back then, oh, baby, I'm drinking. But yeah, just smoking just never been my thing. Like, I hit the blunt a few times before, like, with people be like, oh, smoke with me. And I'll try to do it, you know. But it just, I don't know, like, you know, it just wasn't my thing, and it just still ain't my thing. But like I said, if somebody want me to smoke with them, not crack or nothing like that, but, you know, I'll be like, okay, sure, like, probably hit it once, I don't know. It just, like I said, my first time bad experience really just, it just fucked me up, y'all. Like, I really was choking and was like, couldn't breathe, and they was just, like, what's funny? Give me some water. But anyway, So Toxic like, girl, no, you're smoking tonight. I don't care what you say, you're smoking tonight. Mind you, back then at this point, this is when I wouldn't hit the blunt with people or nothing like that. I wouldn't. Like, you could hotbox around me, but I wasn't finna do that because this was around the time, like, when that happened. Like, when I first tried to smoke, I was like 16. So now I'm 17. This was just still fresh to me, and I just was so scared of weed. Like, not scared of it because, of course, everybody around me do it, but like, I just wasn't trying to do it. Like, I just wasn't trying to smoke because I was scared. I'm like, my lungs ain't built for this shit. Like, I ain't got. So anyway, so Toxic was like, girl, no, you're gonna smoke. I don't care what she's saying. You pass it to her, you're smoking. And that's one thing I hate, y'all. Let me just say one thing I hate. Y'all, I hate people who try to pressure you into doing something. Not even pressure, but try to tell you what you're gonna do. If I tell you no, and this is too, like, if you have friends that try to make you feel bad or keep telling you do it, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Don't give a fuck about how they feel. They're like, oh, you're boring, you're this. Well, call me boring then, bitch, because that's what the fuck I am. Like, I do not care. Like, my thing is, I don't need to do something to turn up. Like, even now in life, it be people, I don't like going around people who be like, drink, girl, let's drink. Okay, I drink, but if I'm done drinking, then I'm done drinking. Don't keep trying to tell me let's drink. If you need another drink, be my fucking guest. Have another drink. But if I say I'm done, leave me alone. Like, I don't need alcohol to turn up. Like, I could go to somewhere and turn the fuck up and be sober as fuck to where you be like, bitch, did you drink before you came? Like, you lit. And I be like, nah, I don't need it to turn up. When I was younger, I felt like that because I was so shy. Like, I'm still shy now, and y'all believe it or not, I'm still shy now, but it's different now. Like, I don't know, it's just totally different. But back then, I had a lot of social anxiety. Like, I still do now, but it's just different. But I felt like I had to drink to turn up, to loosen up, to get lit, to be cool. Like, I just felt like I had to, or I was gonna be quiet. But now I'm cool. Like, I don't need to do that, and it's been that way for years. Like, I don't need to. So it's like, if we're turned up, we having a good time, and you want another shot and I don't ask me to take another shot. Like, leave me alone. I know my limit. And I'm cool. Like, I'm cool. So that was already irritating me because I just hate when people do that shit. It's so annoying. Like, it's so fucking annoying. So she like, girl, no, you're smoking. I don't care. You're not finna be boring. You're not finna be turned down. Either way it go, at this point, I was talkative. Like, I'm talkative as hell. Like, only time, like I said, when I feel like I would need alcohol to turn up is if I'm at a party. Then that was back then, though. That was back then, like when I first started going to parties, and I used to just be awkward because I'm like, y'all, as y'all can see still, I don't know how to dance like that. So I would be awkward, but for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna turn up and dance and shit, I would have to drink. But that was then. Now I don't care. I'm gonna turn up. I'm walking that motherfucker shaking ass, okay? But yeah, so it just irritates me when people do that shit. Like, so I'm like, no, I'm not. So she like, girl, yes, you are. You're not about to be born. You did not come out the house to be born today. So Black was like, chill. She already said why she don't want to. If she don't want to smoke, she don't need to smoke. Like, you don't need to smoke. He was like, but we got a bottle. You gonna drink? And I was like, yeah, I'll drink with y'all, but I'm not smoking. She just like, you're boring. You're boring. And I'm just like, before I could get annoyed, y'all, when I get irritated, I just go straight to like this. I go straight on my phone, because if not, I don't want to just blow up on you. Like, I don't want to get irritated and be like, bitch, stop. Like, leave me the fuck alone. So at this point, they smoking. They passed her the blunt like 2 times, and after that, she was sitting there waiting. Like, you know how people be like this and be like, oh, nope, not coming to me. Oh, nope, not coming to me. Oh, no, y'all not, okay, y'all not passing it to me. That's how she was really sitting there. And I was just dying laughing because, y'all, mind y'all, they hotboxing, so I'm catching contact. So I'm just dying laughing, like, oh my God, to myself, because they playing the music, but they talking, and I'm just dying laughing to myself. I wasn't talking. She was trying to make small talk with me, and I was kind of just like, wait, let me cool down, bitch, because you just irritated me. Like, you know, don't stop talking to me for a minute. Just leave me alone for a minute. So I'm just kind of dying laughing to myself. That kind of like changed my mood again, because it was funny how she was just kind of like feeling like waiting for them to pass it to her. They just never passed it back. Like, they literally passed that shit to her like twice, and it was just like, we ain't passing you shit else. So anyway, they over there talking and stuff like that. So after a while, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta use the bathroom. Because mind y'all, these niggas finna roll up a whole nother blunt. I'm like, oh, I gotta pee. So he was like, oh shit. He was like, yeah, the pizza place, they got a bathroom up in there. Y'all could just go up in there right now. We finna be out in a minute, because we not gonna finish this second blunt. We just gonna, you know, hit it a few times. So he's like, yeah, y'all go to the bathroom. So she like, all right. So we hop out the car, and she was like, you sure? We could wait for you. And he was like, nah, y'all gotta pee. Because I was like, girl, well, if you want to wait for them, you could, but I gotta use the bathroom, so I'm gonna go. So she was like, all right, I'm gonna come. So we start walking towards the bathroom. So while we walking, she just like, girl, how do you feel about Marvin? Like, bitch, if you keep asking me how I feel about Marvin. So I'm like, girl, he's cool. Like, you know, he's straight. Like, that's the homie. So she's like, girl, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Like, I think Black is cool. Like, I think Black like me. Like, I think he do. I'm like, yeah, he cool. He like you. He over here kissing you in the mouth and he just met you today. So, you know, maybe he do. I don't know. So I'm just like, yeah, he cool or whatever. So she's like, but you don't think it's weird or nothing like that? Like, you cool? Like, you good? So I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, why are you saying that? Like, what's weird? So she's like, that you used to like him and now I'm talking to him. And I was like, girl, that was middle school. That was a little crush. Like, that was a long time ago. Like, I'm not tripping off that. We and him never talked. So I'm like, girl, you good. That's you. And I was like, and honestly, me looking at him now, y'all ever had somebody you had a big crush on back in the day, and when you look at them now, you be like, bro, was you always ugly? Like, I'm just kidding. But you be like, this couldn't be the same person. Like, maybe my eyes different now. I don't know. So I'm like, yeah, like, he cool. That's you. I'm like, he ain't even that cute to me no more. I'm like, but he cute for you, though. Like, but not for me. Like, I don't like him like that. And she's like, well, of course he not cute for you because, girl, he want me. So I'm like, at this point, we kind of like going back and forth because I said, girl, I never said he wanted me. Like, she's like, I don't know, you just saying, like, you being real talkative to him. Like, you barely talking to Marvin. Mind you, I will be talking to Marvin too, but the nigga Black will keep asking me, do I remember such and such? But it will be all of us. Like, mind you, the same school me and Marvin went to wasn't the same school me and Black went to. So certain people he's asking me about, Marvin don't know, so he's not jumping in on those parts. But certain people we do know the same. Like, so I'm just like, girl, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, girl, it's not that serious. Like, he asked me, do I know people? And she was like, and I thought that was weird, like how y'all set up and had a whole conversation about, like, talking about my other homegirl. She's like, that was weird. Like, you should have like just ended that conversation. You should never even entertain that shit. I'm like, girl, he asked me about somebody. It's not that deep. It's not like I said, oh, I'm gonna call her right now, tell her to pull up. So we kind of going back and forth about that. And she was just like, no, I just think that's weird. Like, you know, I really like him. Since when did you really like him? Like, bro, I'm just like, yo, like, she's getting on my nerves. So I'm like, girl, don't do, like, just don't do too much because I'm gonna want to go home. Like, I'm gonna be irritated. I'm gonna want to go home. And she's like, I'm not trying to make you go home but nothing like that, but I'm just saying, like, talk to Marvin. Like, why you not talking to Marvin? I'm like, I am talking to Marvin. Like, y'all, it really was just like, so we kind of getting into it or whatever. We ended up going inside the picture place. We ended up going inside the pizza spot and went to the bathroom. And I went in the mirror and I started taking pictures because they mirror was bomb as fuck up in the bathroom. And I thought I looked cute. So I'm over there and I'm taking pictures. She hopping in my pictures like we wasn't just arguing. Bitch, no. So we up in the we taking pictures and shit. And I'm just still snapping the pictures like we wasn't just arguing too. So we taking pictures or whatever. And like we up in there taking so many pictures. So when we end up coming out the bathroom, y'all, I don't know why it like slipped my mind that I had to pee. You ever had to pee so bad when you sit down, but when you get up, it be like, oh, it's not that deep? I don't know. So we end up, and y'all, let me not be holding my pee. I smell like pee like, oh, boy used to. But Emmy just kidding. So anyway, we come out the bathroom or whatever, and now he called her phone and he was all like, oh, did y'all order y'all food yet? So she like, no, we was waiting on y'all. So he like, okay, well, it's gonna take a minute and I still want to make it to the arcade. What arcade? So he, mind you, we're not even near an arcade at this point. So anyway, so he called her and he was just like, yeah, so y'all could go ahead and order y'all some food now. Order our food now. And then he was like, and I'm gonna just give you the bread back when I get up in there. So she like, all right, so what y'all want? So she getting what they want or whatever. So she told me or whatever what he's saying. So we stand in line. It was like 2 people in front of us, not too many people. So we stand in line or whatever. So by the time we get to the register, y'all, I look over, because how the register was, it was like this way and the door was right here. So I look over, well, I could have just did like this. Say the register is right here, the door is over here. So I look over and I could see Marvin and Black standing at the door. Like they standing like kind of off to the side, but I could see them. I don't know if they know if I could see them. So they wasn't trying to come in there. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, he didn't want to pay. Like he just want her to get the food or whatever, which is like, you could have just said that, but whatever. So we at the register or whatever, we ordered what they wanted, which they wanted a lot. Like we only got 1 slice and then they got like 2 slices or whatever, which wasn't too much, but like, you know. So as a total, our food came up to like $13. So we stand there, they was like, okay, it's like $13, $14 or whatever. So Toxic was like, Symone, can you pay for it? Because I don't have no money on me, because he said that he was paying for everything. So I don't have no money on me. She was like, but he said he's gonna give you the money back when he come in here. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, you know, why you didn't just say that? So I pull out my money or whatever. I had some money on me or whatever. I give the guy the money. I had like exact change because I had a whole bunch of ones. I don't know why I used to have a whole bunch of ones. I don't know. But anyway, I gave him like $13 or whatever. So we sitting down, we get the receipt. So now right when I pay for the food, that's when they came up in here. Like right when I gave the man the money, he gave us the receipt. Black and Marvin walks up in there. So we go sit at a table or whatever, and I was like, oh shit, I do gotta pee. Like, let me go to the bathroom. So I end up going to the bathroom or whatever. By the time I come out the bathroom, cause I was in there for a cool minute. I started taking pictures again and shit after I peed, like not in shitting, but like taking pictures and stuff. Yeah, like, and I started taking pictures. So by the time I'm coming out, they called a number, like it was our number that they was calling, whatever. Mind you, it didn't take them that long to cook the pieces. All the pieces was like right there. They just warm it up. So anyway, they call our number, and Toxic started looking at the receipt to see like if it's our number, and Black snatched the receipt from her. Like, he really just like snatched that shit from her, looked at it, and then he handed it back to her and was like, go get our food. So then she got up, she went to go get the food or whatever. I just sat down because I'm just like, whatever. So I'm sitting next to Marvin, she was sitting next to him. And yeah, so I was sitting next to Marvin, she was sitting next to Black. So she come back with the food or whatever. So when she come back with the food, he pull out some money and he start fumbling through it. So then next thing you know, like, you know when niggas be having money and it's like, bro, the 20 is right there. It's right there. Why you didn't have to fumble through the whole stack. So he started fumbling through some money. Like, the 20 was right there, and he got a 20 out the stack and was like, here you go, and passed it to me. And I was like, oh, thank you, like, you know. And I put it, I don't know why I'm saying thank you when it's like it's my money he giving me back. So I'm just like, oh, thank you, like, you know. And I put it in my purse or whatever. So she was like, why you give her the money? So he was like, because she paid for the food. And I said, I'm gonna give her the bread back. And then she was like, but still, she was like, and you gave her a 20 and it was only like 13, 14, I forgot. So I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I don't have change though. Like, you know, I don't have no change. I know y'all probably think like you had a lot of ones, but you didn't have change. For him, I didn't. So I'm like, I don't have change. And he was like, nah, it's cool. Like, you keep the whole thing. Like, you keep it. And she was like, what? But why'd you give it to her? He was like, because she paid. I seen her pay when we was walking up. So I'm like, oh, so they did see me seeing them through the window. They probably was like, what the fuck is she looking at? But I'm like, oh, okay. So he was like, I seen her when we was walking up. I seen her pay for it. So why would I give you the money if she paid for it? And she's like, well, how you know she didn't pay for it with my money? And he was like, well, why would you hand her your money at the register for her to give it to him then? That didn't even, like, that wouldn't even make no sense. So she like, I'm just saying, like, you didn't think to give it to me. Like, that's my friend. You know her through me. And I'm just sitting here like, no, this bitch is not getting mad because he gave me the money. Bitch, I paid for the shit. Why would he hand you the money when you didn't pay for it? We not even finna play like you paid for it. Bitch, it's my money. Give me the money because it's mine. Like, the fuck? We not finna play these games. Like, no, it's my money and I need it now. Like, what? So anyway, he handed me the money or whatever. So she going back and forth with him about that stupid ass shit. I'm just sitting there. I'm starting to eat my food. Marvin, you know, he already eating his food. So we just like, the fuck is she? That ain't got nothing to do with me. So we sitting there, we eating or whatever. So next thing you know, he's like, y'all still want to go to the arcade, right? So we like, yeah. And I was like, what arcade is around here, y'all? Because mind y'all, the beach we're at is no arcade at this beach. So he was like, oh no, we gonna drive down to Santa Monica and we gonna go to the arcade at that beach. Like, you know, so I'm just thinking like, the pier is closed, but go off, sis. No, I'm just kidding. Go off, bro. But anyway, he's like, we're gonna go to the arcade. But I'm thinking like, you know what, I never been to the pier this late. Maybe it is open. Who am I to tell him that the arcade is closed? So anyway, after we done eating, we end up going back to the car, and she get in the front seat with him and Marvin get in the back seat with me, y'all. So which I didn't have a problem with Marvin getting in the back seat with me. So you already know he put it down on the thing. You already know he playing T-Pain once again. So we driving or whatever, and Marvin, he kept like talking to me, but he like, oh, excuse me. So we driving or whatever, and Marvin, he kept talking to me, but I was sitting on one side by the door, he's sitting on the other side. He kept leaning like this in the middle, and he would be talking to me. Mind you, the music is loud as fuck, and he just like talking, and I can't really hear him, but he would be like this, like touch my thigh type, like Symone. Like if I couldn't hear him, he'd be like this, but not like a tap, like it would be like a rub, and it's like, boy. So after a while, like when it got, and it's hard to talk over this music. So after a while, when it got to like a dry moment when he wasn't saying nothing, I must have leaned my head on the window and closed my eyes. I fake sleep, y'all. I fake like I was asleep the whole time because I didn't want to talk. And plus, you was kind of getting too much of my personal space. Like, what is you doing all this for? And I could barely hear what you saying. You probably could have been like, when we get to the pier, I'm gonna fuck you, right? And I'm probably just like, not knowing what you said, thinking you said was the pizza good. Like, I don't know. So I'm just like, I'm gonna just fake like I'm asleep, y'all. So I'm over here, I'm like this, faking like I'm asleep. A cool minute, he was like this, like trying to get my attention, to where it was like a rub, then it was like a tap, then it was like I heard, oh, she sleep back here, and they like, she sleep, like with the music, and I'm just over here like this. Whole time I hear everything, and she like, man, she gonna wake the fuck up, she better wake up. And I wanted to kick fucking Toxic in the back of her head, like, bitch, why you acting weird around these niggas? Duh, I'ma wake up, I ain't even fucking sleep. But anyway, I'm still fake sleep. I can't blow my cover. So anyway, we end up getting to the beach or whatever. We pulled up by where we pulled up at by Santa Monica, mind you. It's other places we could have parked, but for some reason he parked really close by the pier, which was clearly closed. And when we got out the car, he went in his trunk. He got the alcohol, like he got the bottle or whatever, and he got 2 blankets. He had 2 blankets in his trunk. When he pulled out them blankets, I already knew we wasn't going to the pier. I knew. I'm thinking like maybe he had some late night, I don't know, but I knew. When he pulled them blankets out, I'm like, yeah, we going to the beach. That's one thing about an LA nigga. They will beat you to death. Beach, not beat. Beat you to death. Which is like, back then it was cool or whatever. Which, don't get me wrong, the beach is still cool. The beach is still a vibe or whatever. But like, back in the day, that would really be the thing. Like, let's go to the beach. The beach, the beach, the beach. Like, if you ain't never had intercourse on the beach, that you... how did you live here? Like, I'm just kidding, but no, for real though. But anyway, so he got them 2 blankets, and I'm just like, but I wasn't tripping though, because like I said, the beach is a vibe, but it was cold, because it's like, bro, if you knew we was gonna come to the beach and you knew we was gonna be, he never said what arcade though, that's the thing, but if he knew we was gonna be on the beach, I would have brought like something better. Like, I don't know, I don't remember what I had on, but I think I had shorts on. Like, I just know I was cold, but he had them 2 blankets or whatever. So we start walking, mind you, the car's right here. We could walk straight down and go by the water onto the sand. We start walking down, like down and then down. I'm like, we walking far away from the car. Like, what the fuck? Why we didn't just park over here? Anyway, so he was like, we walking, and Toxic was like, I thought we was going to the pier. He's like, the pier is closed. Like, you don't see the pier closed? He's like, I'm just trying to get away from we not too by the lights and stuff. I want it to be dark where we at. So we're walking damn near forever on this damn beach, y'all. Y'all know walking in sand is so fucking horrible, especially when it's cold too. So I'm over here shivering like this. So Marvin ended up putting his arm around me. He had a blanket, like one of the blankets around him, because Black had one of the blankets folded up holding it, and Marvin had the other one. He put it around me like this, and he walked with me. He was like, I see you over here shivering. So they was like, yeah, when we get on the beach, we could play some like drinking games. Like, when we get to the beach, we could play some drinking games or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we end up getting to, like, not to the beach, but where we was gonna sit at. So we end up getting to where we was gonna sit at. We put one blanket down, and then the other one, we had it like, all of us is like got a little piece of the blanket. So we got the bottle or whatever. They rolled up another blunt. They smoking. They like, let's play drinking games, like shot games or whatever. Like, but let's drink still. So we opened up the bottle. We all passed it around, took a drink, like a shot, whatever. So now we playing a game. We're playing Truth or Dare, you know, because that's like the game, the go-to game or whatever. So we sitting there. It could have been a vibe, y'all. But who made it not a vibe? Who y'all gonna say? Toxic. Toxic made the shit so fucking weird, y'all. So we sitting there. Now we playing Truth or Dare. Everybody, I dare you to do this, or I truth or you to do this. It was just like little minor stuff, like, oh, I dare you to call the last person in your phone. Oh, I dare you to text this person and say this. I dare, like little stuff like that. So Toxic get to me finally. She like, Symone, truth or dare. So I'm like, dare. Because, you know, we all just daring stupid shit. It was basically stuff like in our phone. Shit like, I dare you to DM your ex. And then it's stuff that would be like, I dare you to call. Like, at this point, I had Metro. But I ain't had no signal by the beach. The fuck? So I couldn't call nobody. So I'm like, dare. I just want to see what she was going to say. Or it'd be like, I dare you to do a cartwheel. Just little shit like that. And then so Toxic like, I'm like, dare. You know, she's daring everybody else's normal shit. So I'm like, okay, dare. This girl gonna say, I dare you to get naked in the water. Like, basically, she said, I dare you to go skinny dipping in the beach. At this point, it's like 1 or 2 in the morning. It's like, yeah, like one-ish going on 2 in the morning. I said, girl, I said, pass me the bottle because I'm going to have to drink to that. Mind you, I'm laughing with it. So she like, because, you know, I'm just laughing like, she wants to give me one so I could drink. Okay, I see you. All right. So I'm like, girl, give me the bottle. Give me the bottle. She like, when I was finna reach for the bottle, she snatched that shit like this. Like, the bottle's right here. I was reaching for it. She snatched it. She was like, no, go do the dare. You're not finna be drinking. Go do the dare. Go do it. So I said, what? She was like, go do the dare. Like, why you don't want to do the dare? You was already sleeping in the car. Go do the dare. Mind you, we done had a good little game going. I done did so many other stupid ass dares we was daring each other to do. Did a handstand. Did this, that. Like, we doing all these other. So I'm like, girl, I said, girl, you must be kidding. I said, because you know damn well I can't swim, which I can't, but I'm going to learn one day, y'all. So I'm like, I can't swim. I was like, and plus, it's dark as fuck. Like, I'm not. And then I said, and I'm about to get naked in front of y'all. Like, no, I'm about to drink. How many shots I got to do? Like, what was that? 2 dares in one. So give me my shots. Like, give me the bottle. So she like, man, come on, Symone. Why are you being boring? Like, why are you, everybody's doing their dare. Mind you, I've done dares. So I'm like, I've done dares too. Like, now I'm passing up and I'm finna drink. Like, even though we was doing truth or our dares and everybody was still doing their little thing, we was still passing around drinking. So I'm like, now I'm about to drink extra, like, you know, take my extra 2 shots. Like, so she like, man, you being boring. Like, I would have did it if you would have dared me to do it. I said, well, then you go do it. So he was like, nah. She said she can't swim and it's dark as fuck. Like, people be drowning like that. Like, no, you're not about to go out there. I said, I know I'm not about to go out there. And Marvin was like, yeah, Symone, you're not finna go out there. I'm like, I know I'm not finna go out there. And he was like, well, no, I'm just saying, like, nobody, let's not do dares like that. Like, nobody finna go into the water at night, because that's how people drown and they die. Like, and I'm just sitting here like, y'all don't gotta be fucking after school special telling me nothing, because I'm not finna do it. Like, you know, so I'm just sitting there like, I'm not trying to get too much of an attitude, but y'all, it was showing. So I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. And she's like, okay, well, get naked and run down the beach. So I'm like, I'm not doing that either. Like, you know, give me the bottle. So she's like, Symone, really? Like, you really gonna do that? So I'm like, give me the bottle. And she was just like, oh my god. So they like, give her the bottle, like it's her turn. So Black snatched the bottle out of her hand and was like, here your shot. You don't even got to take 2, just take your 1 shot. So I was just like, oh, I don't know, I had an attitude with him too, kind of like when he handed it to me, I kind of like snatched it out of his hand and I just like took my little shot or whatever. At this point, I'm irritated. So what I said, I'm cold. It's cold out here. Because that's indicating I'm ready to fucking go. Because I'm irritated. So he was like, it's cold. So he was like, Marvin, warm her up. Like, warm her up. So he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to warm you up. So I'm like, oh, my God. Which means we're not leaving no time soon. So he was like, we don't got to play truth or dare no more. Like, let's just talk. Like, let's just talk and shit like that. Like, whatever. So we sitting there, we talking. Now, me, Marvin, and Black, at this point, we having a deep ass conversation. Like that, it really switched real fast. Like we started having a deep conversation about like other universes and the stars and if it's life on other planets. Like we having a deep ass conversation about stuff like that. Toxic, she don't want to talk about that type of shit. So we talking and she just kept saying, y'all dumb if y'all think it's other life. Symone, you really think that? Bitch, they're saying the same shit. Why do you keep pointing out me? So I'm like, everybody in this conversation is saying the same thing. I said, don't just point me out. She's like, I'm not pointing you out. Like, you taking it the wrong way. Like, you're taking it the wrong way. So I'm like, cause you know, like, yeah, you are. Like, sometimes I be tripping, but I was not tripping, y'all. I was not tripping. A lot of times I know I be saying I wasn't tripping, and it might seem like, no, but I was not tripping. She really was pointing me out. So now, instead of just pointing me out, she pointed out Marvin too. So she like, Marvin, like, you really think that, like, y'all is dumb. Like, y'all dumb. Call Black dumb then too, because he feel the same way. So he like, well, how do you feel about it? And she just was like, well, like, I don't know. And she's like, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. So he gave her a kiss and they start kissing. So I'm just like, whatever. So me and Marvin, we still talking or whatever. So now Marvin, he kind of like trying to cuddle up with me and shit. And I'm just like, oh no, it ain't finna go there, pissy. I'm just, no, it is not finna go there. He didn't smell like pee no more, but it just wasn't finna go there. Like, it just wasn't on that type of timing. So anyway, so we just sitting there or whatever. Well, laying, now we kind of like all just like laid down. So I was just like, oh, it's getting late. At this point, it's like 2-ish something. Like, so at this point, it's like 2-ish, real long into the 2, about to be 3 o'clock in the morning. Probably 3 o'clock in the morning. I knew it was just really, really late. So I'm like, you know, because the whole saying I'm cold thing ain't gonna work. Because all Marvin gonna do is just cuddle up with me more and bear hug me. And he was really tall too. So yeah, he was kind of like covering me up. But, and plus we was all sharing this blanket. But it's still, I was ready to go. So, and plus they over there kissing and doing Lord knows what else, because there was a lot of little movement going on. I mean, it was, I don't know, like I said. But I just was ready to go, because I could tell Marvin probably wanted to be like, okay, but it was like, no, I don't know. I just wasn't on that timing. So anyway, we, I'm like, oh, it's getting late. I was like, I'm getting sleepy too. Like, it's getting late. And I was like, yeah, like pretty much. So when we finna leave, and I said that too, like that, I'm like, so when we finna go? So Marvin was like, oh yeah, it is getting late. Like, you ready to hop? Like, you ready to go? I thought we was pulling an all-nighter. So I was like, we was pulling an all-nighter. I said, who said that? And he was like, we all said that. Like, we all plan to pull an all-nighter. So Black was like, yeah, like, that's why we've been drinking this much. Y'all said y'all was down to pull an all-nighter. I'm like, when did we say that? And Toxic was like, remember I told you we went to pull an all-nighter? Like, remember I said that? So I'm like, no, like, you didn't say that. And she's like, remember I said, do you want to spend the night? And I started thinking back, remember when I told y'all earlier in the story when she said, would I spend the night with him? That's what she meant, bitch. If you knew. So my thing is, she knew that we would end up on the beach. She knew that we was gonna go to the beach and stuff like that. If you knew this, mind you, she had shorts on too, so she was cold too. But if you knew this, you could have told me. I would have brung a different sweater, and I probably would have been down. Trust me, I'm the type, I used to be down for whatever. So if you would have told me we was gonna pull an all-nighter on the beach, I would have been down, and I would have came with my own little blanket, and I would have wore some leggings or something. I wouldn't have came with shorts on, like, and I don't even think I had a sweater on either. Like, I really don't think I had a sweater on. So I'm like, no, he didn't say that. He was like, yeah, well, I'm too drunk to drive, so we could leave at like 5. 5? Mind y'all, like I said, I don't got no signal on this beach because I had Boost Mobile. I had Metro PCS. I had Metro. So I'm like, so Marvin like, yeah, if you get cold, just let me know. Like, we could cuddle. Ain't nothing finna happen to you. I'm like, y'all ain't scared. Like, nobody gonna be out here. Mind y'all, I didn't care about nothing like that. Like, we on the beach, you know, beaching it up. Like, I didn't think nothing like that. I just really want to go. So they like, nah, like, he like, I did this before. Like, I did this before. That's why Toxic said she was down to do it. She said you was down. Like, you should have told her. He was like, it's gonna be cool, Symone. We're gonna have a good time. He's like, plus I'm too drunk to drive. So that's the only part I'm like, I could respect it. Like, you know, I'm not trying to get in the car with somebody if you know you too drunk to drive, but why we can't go sleep in the car? Like, ugh. So I'm just like, all right. So I laid there. I'm trying to go to sleep. I could not go to sleep for nothing in the world. Y'all, Marvin just cuddled up behind me. We spooning and shit. So I'm just like, fuck. I was just so irritated, y'all. I eventually kind of went to sleep, but it was really like a cat nap. I could not sleep. To where when the sun started coming up and it was 5, I really got up and was like, ooh, all right. Y'all good? Like, it's time to go. And they was like, okay, like, let's go. Damn, you up early? Like, dang. Yes, I'm up early. I want to get up off this motherfucking beach. Like, no, like, what the fuck? So we end up packing it up and we walking. We looking crazy. Hair is puffed up. Like, oh my. Hair is puffed up. Like, I had a press before. I'm not gonna say silk. I ain't gonna do too much. But I had a press before. That shit was puffy. Like, my hair was so fucking puffy. Her hair is puffy. We looked a fucking mess. We was really doing the walk of shame on the beach. So we walking back to the car or whatever. So he's like, y'all gonna come back to my house or y'all gonna go home? So I'm like, we're going home. We're going home. So I'm like, I'm going to my house. I'm like, can you take me home? Like, I'm going to my house because I didn't live too far from him no way. So I'm like, this is where my house at. So when he pulled up to my house, Toxic hop out the car too. And I'm just thinking like, bitch, go to your own house. So she had, but I didn't say that though. So she have out the car. We ended up going in the house. And y'all, it was always because like, even though like I was 17, even though I had just graduated high school or whatever, my grandma, like, I got away with way more at my grandma and grandpa house than I would have got away with at my mom's house. And she knew that. She's about, but y'all, like, so me coming home at that time, shorts on, hair puffy, getting dropped off. My grandma, she was up early because she used to get up early because she used to work. So she getting up, so she already up. So she looking like, who is that? Like, who is that? So I'm like, oh, that was, I'm just trying to come up with something off the top of my head. I'm like, Grandma, I'm tired. She's like, where was you at? Like, y'all look like y'all was having a wild night. Like, where was y'all at? So I'm like, oh, we went to a bonfire last night. We didn't know we was gonna go, da da da. She's like, oh, Moni, are you gonna be sick? Like, she asked, Grandma, go to work. Okay, because I'm tired. I'm going to sleep for like a few hours and then we woke up, and by the time we woke up we were just chilling. So I'm just asking her like, oh, so like, why you didn't tell me we was gonna sleep at the beach, bitch? Like, you know, why you didn't tell me that? So she like, because I didn't think you was gonna be down. Mind you, like I said, my friends could have told me, girl, we finna go tickle Obama's feet until he fall asleep, and I would have been like, bitch, I'm down. Like, I used to be down for whatever, as y'all can see in these stories, which I probably should. No, I had a good time, not even gonna lie, I had a good time. But I used to be down for whatever, so it's like she could have just told me that. So I'm like, oh, you could have told me. And I had told her because I felt some type of way. Mind y'all, me and her fell off before because the whole situation. Remember when I said when she came to the city and she lied and said I jumped her when I was in school. So mind y'all, this was like a year and a half after all that, because me and her had stopped talking, because that happened my 11th grade year. Now I'm graduating. I graduated from 12th grade from high school. So yeah, that was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. So mind y'all, now, I mean, we already like would have like little arguments and shit, but like now it would just be like, you know, you skating on thin ice with me, bitch. So I told her, I'm like, I ain't like the way you was acting around them. Like, why was you doing all that? I'm like, why was you trying to put me on blast so much? So she like, oh, I wasn't putting you on blast. Mind y'all, when we used to hang out with guys, she would be kind of weird, I ain't gonna lie. But she didn't ever used to do too much, like how she started doing too fucking much when we started being friends again. Which it kind of pissed me off, because it's like, girl, if you didn't want to be my friend again, you could have declined the offer. Like, I really reached, it was like, you lied on me, but I reached out to you type shit. Because I had that problem where I was hard at letting people go that I love. Like, I really had a problem where it was hard for me to let people go that I loved and that I was used to be in my life. So when we would fall out, people gonna be used to waiting. Like, yeah, I'll give it some time. Symone gonna hit me up and apologize. And I would apologize, and I didn't even do shit half the time. Sometimes I would. I ain't gonna lie, because I've had my fair share of being a bad friend or being toxic. You know, everybody does. I'm not gonna make it seem like I'm perfect and innocent and I'm the victim all the time, because I'm not. But I have my fair share. But it would be times where, right or wrong, I'm apologizing. Whether you're wrong, I'm still gonna apologize. I'm still gonna reach out and be like, no, we need to figure it out. We need to get, like, no. And that was my problem, but I don't do that no more. But anyway, so I'm like, let me tell you how, like, I'm gonna tell you how I feel or whatever. So it was basically really like, I felt like, I don't know, I just felt weird. It was a lot of times too, and y'all would see too, like, more I get into it, which I'm gonna tell y'all, because a lot of people keep asking me, like, why did we stop being friends completely? And I'm gonna get to that though. I'm gonna get to it real soon though. But yeah, so I end up asking her about that, because I really was confused. It was just like, bitch, we're just now really getting back on good terms again, and you're being weird. Because mind you, I remember I said I moved back to LA, so we was closer, because back then, like, when even before I moved back to LA, we kind of got close. Like, we was trying to get close before I graduated high school, but it just wasn't really like, but when I moved back to LA, it was just like, it kind of got, but it fell off too. But anyway, so yeah, I was asking her, she was like, oh, I wasn't being weird. And she was like, it was just a weird moment for me though. She was like, because girl, why? I already know Marvin. So I'm like, oh, you do? Like, because mind you, he didn't make it seem like he knew her at all from a can of paint. She like, yeah, I already knew Marvin. She was like, me and Marvin, like, we used to talk. So I was like, y'all used to talk? She was like, yeah, we used to talk. We never did anything, but we used to talk. So I'm like, why are you trying to hook me up with the nigga? Like, you kept asking me how I felt about him. So I'm like, why you didn't tell me that? Like, you could have told me. Even though me and Marvin didn't take it nowhere. Like, we had each other on social media already, but we didn't exchange phone numbers, nothing. Like, it didn't go nowhere after that night. It was really just some chill type shit. So she was like, oh, like, I don't know, I just didn't want to make it awkward. She was like, but I feel like he gonna say something to Black, and that's gonna fuck it up what I got going on with him. I hope he don't say nothing. So if you talk to him, can you tell him not to say nothing? She's like, I was thinking maybe if you talk to him, like, if you mess with him, then he wouldn't feel no type of way to tell Black that me and him used to talk. So I'm just like, wait, when did y'all used to talk? Mind you, like, me and her did fall off for a cool minute. Like, so I'm thinking, like, maybe when we fell off, they used to talk. So I'm like, wait, when y'all used to talk? She gonna say, well, it was this one time at a party. Like, we was dancing and shit on each other and all this other stuff. She's like, but he trying to act like he don't know me. Like, we aimed a few times. Bitch, did you say aim? Because at this point, nobody is on aim anymore. Like, at this point, nobody is on aim anymore. So I'm just sitting here like, did you say you danced with him at a party and y'all aimed a few times? So I'm like, did y'all ever link? Like, y'all ever kicked it? She's like, no, but we talked, like, on aim, like, after we met at the party. So I'm like, well, he probably don't remember you. Like, honestly, he probably don't remember you. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, he probably really don't remember you. I'm like, them niggas be, like, high. They be drunk. Not off, like, serious drugs like Enemy, but you know, I'm just like, but I didn't say that because at this point, of course, I ain't never even met Enemy. But yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, he probably really don't even remember you. Like, I doubt he's gonna tell Black anything. He would have said something. Like, I'm pretty sure he would have said something tonight, like last night. So she like, nah, like, he remember me. Like, why would you say he wouldn't remember me? Like, that's probably why he wasn't trying to talk to you like that. So I'm just like, oh, okay, everybody wants you. I don't care though, because I don't want him. So I mean, hey, so she was just like, yeah. So I'm like, girl, I don't care if he tried to talk to me or not. I'm just saying, I don't think he remember you. Like, you know, to where we got into a little argument over that, to where it was like, I'm like, when are you going home? Like, you could leave now. Like, go home. Like, because you're being weird. Like, it was just so weird. But after we really had, I can't even say that was a little argument. Like, we was really going back and forth with each other, like, for a cool minute, like, in the house over that shit, like, in my room, because she was really giving, like, I don't know, she was trying to flip it to make it seem like I wanted Marvin and he wanted her and Black wanted her. She was trying to make it seem like I wanted everybody, but they all wanted her or some shit. And I was kind of feeling some type of way, because she was like, that's really what she was giving. Like, I don't know, like, she didn't say it, but it was just like from her saying, why do I keep talking to Black? when we was all hanging out, and then trying to make it seem like, oh, that's why Marvin didn't want to talk to me, because he used to talk to her and he gonna tell Black because he probably still want to fuck with her. It was just weird. Like, it's just like giving like, girl, I wasn't trying to talk to Marvin. Like, it was never no awkward situation. Like I said, Marvin kind of tried it when he, like, you know, rubbed my knee, or like even when we was at the beach and we was sleeping, we was like cuddled up sleep. It wasn't nothing like that. Like, he didn't try no extra. He's not like he tried to like whisper in my ear and say, let's fuck. Like, no, it wasn't nothing like that. Like, it was just like he realized it. He probably realized it, like, okay, she not on me like that, so I'm gonna just be cool. But we is cold, so we gonna split some body heat. Like, I don't know, it was just giving weird. And I'm just was like, girl, like, she wasn't really she really was trying to give that though. Like, she didn't say it. Even when I said that to her, I'm like, said it to her, she was denying it, like, girl, I'm not saying that, but did you like Black still? Like, why are you saying that? Like, I don't know, it was just weird. Like, we really was going back and forth, like yelling loud, to where my grandpa was like, y'all good up in here? And I'm like, yeah, we good, because y'all, it was just really giving weird. But then, yeah, we didn't fall out because of that though. Like, she went home, we talked later on that day, it was whatever. But yeah, that's the end of this story time, y'all. Like, why was she being weird to me? Like, why you get around, I hate, y'all have a friend, like, let me know down below if you ever been around a female when y'all should be cool as fuck, but the moment y'all get around niggas, she act weird. Like, don't y'all hate that? I hate a female who start acting weird when y'all get around niggas. It's like, girl, is everything okay? You want all the attention? Fine, have it. Like, I don't care, bitch. Chill out. Like, can we have a good time? Like, why'd you doing that? But yeah, that's the end of this story, y'all. Tomorrow, guess what story I'm gonna give y'all? Guess what story I'm gonna give y'all? Because I know y'all probably like, okay, this is week of story time. So, of course, on Sundays, on both Sundays, like yesterday was Subby Sunday. Next day is gonna be Subby Sunday, too. But I'm gonna give y'all, like, I know when I did week of story time before, that was last year Vlogmas, and I gave y'all like a whole lot of in there. It was like my stories, other people's stories. But no, it's gonna be a lot. I'm not gonna say every day is gonna be my story. I'm not gonna say that. I ain't even gonna hold y'all, but it's gonna be more of my stories than any other stories. So tomorrow is another story of mine, and it is Summer Love Affair. I don't know what part this is. Is that 6? Remember when I told y'all, like, I ended up going up to the jail to visit him, like, when he jail talked me, and yeah. It's gonna be that story. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Well, y'all see in the title, but it's gonna be what happened, because y'all, that was crazy. Like, no, watch me. Y'all wait till tomorrow. Y'all gonna hear it tomorrow, because y'all gonna see me being down for whatever, give me into some shit. But yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all that story. And it's crazy because somebody asked me to tell it, and I ain't even gonna hold y'all, because look how deep we in the video. I highly doubt that he literally watched this video and will watch this long. He hit me up, and it just like made me think about it. But I really feel like it's a fake page. I'm gonna tell y'all in tomorrow video, because that's gonna be about Goofy. But I'm gonna tell y'all, I really feel like that. I don't feel like that's him. Like, the way they talking, it's just not giving that it's him. But anyway, so yeah, y'all, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for all these videos, because we coming through. I got so many stories of mine to share with y'all for this week of story times. And then you can comment down below too if y'all got any other stories I might have mentioned and never told, and y'all want me to tell it, go ahead. But thank you guys for tuning in, and see y'all tomorrow.